Hi, my name is Yasu and I'm from Japan. And this is a new series for my YouTube channel, which is different from any other content that I've been uploading in the last, I don't know, 3 or more than 3 years, which is which is this is about real estate in Japan because last year I passed the national real estate examination in Japan, this country, and it's that kind of national examination only takes place once a year. It's all in Japanese, by the way, and then passing rate is only like 17% average. And without passing the exam, no one can get the real estate license. So if you happen to look for a real estate agent, you might see many things online, and you may encounter people who claims to be, oh, I'm a real estate agent in Japan. But what you actually need to look for is licensed real estate agent, because if that person is a licensed real estate agent like me, just like I mentioned, they have to pass the exam, which is really, really difficult. It's all in Japanese anyway, and it's even not easy for Japanese people to pass. And then once we pass the examination, we need to go through all of the paperwork, get different kind of certificates from a lot of different kind of ward office, governmental office, and apply for the qualifications to be in the real estate database, which is a national database. And then once they finish screening process, they find no issue, they become registered in the database. And then when they apply for a real estate license card, once they receive the card, now they can do a contract for brokerage in a Japanese real estate. So there's a lot of steps to become legitimate licensed real estate agent. So it's very confusing when you actually look for someone professional who works in the Japanese real estate industry. They say that, oh, I'm a real estate agent, or I'm a real estate professional, or I'm a real estate consultant. They can call themselves whatever they want to. And that's really confusing for, especially for overseas people. So if you're interested and looking for some real estate agent because you want to buy a property in Japan, you must look for licensed agent. And how to verify if your agent is the legitimate one or not. And especially you as a foreigner buying property in Japan, there are three things that you really need to check everything. One is, of course, if this person is licensed or not. You can simply ask the person to show him or her a real estate license card. It's like a driver's license card. It contains all of the information, including home address. And because of the privacy issue, they are allowed. I'm allowed to actually not disclose the home address part. But when we are asked, we are obligated to show the license card to any client to let them see that we are legitimate licensed real estate agent. If your agents cannot give you his or her license card, that means your agent is not licensed in this country, so please be careful. The other part that you need to pay attention is you need to ask if your agent is registered for the company, for the real estate company that they work for. Because it's a very highly regulated industry in this country. Anyone who works for a real estate company, they need to register themselves in the database for the government. So I'm a licensed agent, but I'm also registered for a real estate company. And this is very important because when the real estate company applies for permits to do the operation, and before doing the operations, they need to put down the deposit for the authorities. In case you as a client gets some kind of you got some kind of risk or wrongdoing by your agent because of the malpractice and everything, you can actually go to the authority and then claim to get certain amount of money back from them, because all of the licensed real estate companies must put the deposit into put the deposit for the authority. So you need to really make sure the person whom you've been contacting with is licensed agent and also registered for a legitimate licensed real estate company. And all of the people who work for a real estate company are obligated to carry another card. It's called Jugyo Shashomesho. In English, it's called employment ID. And it's not typical employment ID. It contains all of the information about the real estate companies, the individual, birthday, and names, of course, and pictures, and when the photo was taken, and what else? Like expiration days and everything. It's really the identification card like driver's license, except no home address is not there. The company's address is on the employment ID, but not the individual's home address, unlike the So license card for the real estate, it has all of the information, including my home address, my employment ID card, specialized for, how do I say, not specialized, required by the real estate regulations. It has all of the informations except my home address. Instead, it has the company's address. So those are the two important identification cards that you must check with a person whom you've been talking to. And then there's a possibility that the person is not licensed. That person might not be registered. And then don't get confused about, oh, I'm a consultant, or I'm a self-employee, or I'm a freelance. It doesn't matter. Even freelance person who is authorized to operate the brokerage service in this country First of all, they need to have a license. They need to have a real estate license. So that means they must pass the examination. And they apply for the permit as an individual anyway, so they are registered as well. No one can actually bypass anything like that. So it doesn't matter if the person is consultant or freelancer or individual, he or she must carry those two things anyway. So please be careful. And then the third one is about those are the first one. The second one is if your agent or your person whom you are talking to is not licensed, the main issue is your person can say anything to you, make you feel secured, make you feel like you're not worried about things, because the person tells you certain things. However, in the sales contract and then also the statement of the important matters about the property, your agent cannot put his or her signature or seal on that sales contract or statement of important matters with you because they're not licensed real estate agent. And that part makes me feel so weird. And that is one of the reasons why I actually got the license, because personally I've been using real estate companies and agents for my rentals and in my home and everything. And then sometimes it happens, actually more than it should be, that the people who showed me property information, gave me property tours and everything, they're salesperson. They didn't have, hopefully they didn't have, but they didn't have real estate license to do the contract with me. So they're explaining everything, making me feel secured, feeling good. And then once I got to the contract signing and or going through explanation of important matters, it's a document that highlights all of the important things about the property that I'm going to buy, to make sure that I am fully informed about me making decisions to buy the property or not. Those salespeople couldn't put their names on it with me. And back then, I felt weird, but at the same time, I went through everything with licensed agents on the contract signing day and everything that your salespeople told me this one, is this that, then what? And in my case, luckily, everything was pretty much covered. And because I'm Japanese, I can keep asking the questions. But this is so weird. So I don't like it. That's why I got the license. And at least so that I don't create that kind of environment. But the second things that you need to really keep that in mind is, if your agent is not licensed, but your agent's the one who keeps telling you a lot of good things and make you feel secure and everything, but in the end, if your agent cannot put his or her name in the contract, don't you feel weird? I feel like they're not taking responsibilities. And now I am taking all the responsibility and the risks because I'm the one who's going to sign the contract and in important matters, and I'm going to be the one who's going to put so much money into it. It's just not so healthy. So please be careful. The third one is because you're a foreigner who are thinking to buy property in Japan, you must make sure that the person that you're being talking to speaks fluent Japanese, ideally native Japanese speaker. But if you happen to be speaking with the person who is not Japanese, please make sure your agent's Japanese proficiency level is JLPT 1. It's the highest level of Japanese proficiency that non-Japanese people can actually show. It's not easy to get. So if your agent has N2 level, that is acceptable, but that's it. And that part is non-negotiable because everything is in Japanese. Contracts, explanation of important matters, and hazard map, all of the city planning regulations, building regulations, and if something that you want to confirm, your agents needs to contact the city hall in Japanese, talking to them in Japanese to get all of the relevant information to answer the questions. But how can your agent communicate with them in Japanese if your agent doesn't have N1 or N2? And then plus, let's say if you want to buy existing property like condo, homes, you must check a lot of things, especially like a repair reserve fund and then long-term repairments plan. All the documents about it in Japanese. For Japanese people, it's easy to read. But for non-Japanese people, it's not easy to comprehend. That is why you really need to have a bilingual real estate agent. Because just like people use AI, the pretty much that AI can translate and localize anything that we type. But let's say, for example, you don't speak Japanese, you speak only English, and you want to know certain things. You type in English into ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, and then ask the AI to just translate the sentences, the English one into Japanese. And then the translations and localizations is amazing anyway. But it would tell you this is the way it should be written in Japanese. Maybe you can copy and paste and everything. But how can you really be sure that the Japanese translations and your original English text are really matched out? It's really matching. How can you be so sure? Are you sure? Because the AI tells you. If you feel that way, you have to be very careful. And in the same thing, you're confident because your non-Japanese native speaker agents tells you that, oh, I speak Japanese, I translate everything. I don't have N1 or N2, but that's okay, my Japanese is good enough. But how can you make sure that his or her Japanese is good enough? Or what if your agent comes back to you saying that, oh, my Japanese colleagues checks everything, and this is what we find out, and this is the translations, so you're good to go. But how can you know that your agent gets fully translated materials for any questions of any information that you need to make decisions of buying property in this country? And how can you confirm that the person who gets the information, the Japanese person, really gets the information from the seller or seller's agents? How can you be sure that all of the information provided in English is the precise translation of the original Japanese documents? People tend to forget that because they feel comfortable speaking with someone or anyone who speaks English to communicate well. But the most important part is the person whom you are talking to and communicating with, can she or he really understand Japanese? Otherwise, any information that you obtain from your agent, you have no idea if the information is correct or not. So those are the three things that you should be you should be worried about, and you should check everything. Yeah. Anyway, so this is a new series for my YouTube channel. Just like how I have been doing for other contents, I think I'm just gonna keep doing that. I don't know which topics I'm gonna talk about because I haven't really thought about yet. So maybe if you have any questions, please give me questions in the comment sections so that I can figure out what kind of content I should create by answering the questions. And also, just like how other my contents are, I'm not gonna edit. So I hope you're okay with it. そうですね。はい。Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. And then finally, in Japan, it's getting warmer. I think in the next few weeks, we can finally say the winter is over. And then here and there, we have started seeing the sakura. So if you're thinking, or if you're already planning to come to Japan, please enjoy the warm weather with sakura and everything. If you happen to have kafunsho, it's a allergy reaction that many people suffer in this country in spring. Stay away from Japan in spring sessions. Yeah, we in the spring season. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, come to Japan. Or if you're living in Japan, enjoy the spring. For me, I'm suffering a little bit, but I'm doing the immunotherapy to ease my hay fever, the kafunsho. I've been doing it for like more than 3 years. That is why my symptoms are not that severe. But if you live in Japan and if you suffer from kafunsho, yeah, my friends keep telling me that this year is like too much kafunsho. So I feel you, and then maybe you might want to consider start doing the shidakuya, which is the immunotherapy to ease the kafunsho. If you're interested, just go to a clinic and you can ask for more information from your doctor. You cannot do it right now because it's a Kafunsho seasons, but once it's over, like May or June, you can start doing it. It's gonna help you next spring, and then the longer you do, that less symptoms you would feel. It's just that you need to do it at least 3 years, and to be safe, it's better to do it for 5 years. And it sounds really long time. Originally, I felt that way too, but here I am. I've been doing it more than 3 years already, so time flies and we can kind of forget. So what we need to do is start doing things. And for Kafunsho, you need to do that if you have it. And I'm doing in the same way, making this kind of contents because, yeah, I need to do something new. So thank you for watching. Please take care. Bye.